This is CWO4 Victor Pinion, U.S. Navy, retired, telling some stories of my naval career. This one is a continuation of my reporting aboard the Midway and my first few days aboard her. Well, my family and I had found housing and to get back and forth between the base and our house that we'd rented, which was about 10 miles or so on the other side of the peninsula, measured in kilometers. I don't remember how many kilometers that was, but we bought a car, a Japanese car, second-hand car, cost about $500, and was learning to drive in Japan, which is an interesting situation. They drive on the wrong side of the road over there. They think it's on the right side of the road. In any case, some of the details of reporting aboard the Midway, I immediately found many things wrong with the machinery. And so many things had been jury-rigged and required preventive maintenance jobs gun-decked, as in saying they did them but not doing them. That was rampant throughout the division, and I think throughout the ship. It was incredibly that they weren't using the preventive maintenance system very well. They didn't even have a set of schedules in the maintenance office. Matter of fact, I discovered the maintenance office had not been being used as a maintenance control point at all, to any degree. We didn't even have a supply set up to provide ready parts for the machinery that we'd already drawn from supply and paid for and had immediately on hand. We didn't have that at all. I had one man temporary duty to run supply chits, and that was it for supply. We didn't have a tool room, didn't have a tool control program. We didn't have a complete technical publications library. We had some partial books in a bookcase in the maintenance office. They didn't have any in the work centers. Talking with the senior enlisted people in the division, they said, well, the ship's been Japanized. So what are you talking about? Well, in the absence of support in the forms of tool control programs, good supply setup, and maintenance control, and all those things like a lot of the stateside ships are benefit from, we don't have any of that. So the ship, the machinery, jury-rigged because we have a hard time getting repair parts. Matter of fact, there was not a supply point in the nation of Japan that even stocked catapult wrestling gear parts. Everything we ordered had to come from another country, United States or from the Philippines, which had a naval supply depot. So long supply lines. The crew was organized in the old-fashioned way before she had been decommissioned for modernization back in the 1960s. We only had one AB chief in the division. That was the catapult chief. He was a severe alcoholic, and he contributed mightily to the jury rigging. He was talented in his knowledge of the machinery, but he led the senior enlisted people and the officers, not only of the division, but of the department, in going to the base liquor store, buying booze, and going to a ballpark on base at 10 every morning when the liquor store is open. And they'd stay over there boozing it up until about 2 in the afternoon. Then they might either go home, or some of them might come back to the ship. But if they did, they'd come back drunk. They didn't have quarters for muster in the morning. They didn't assign people to specific jobs, not very well anyway. It was a terrible leadership management situation that I had inherited. We did not have the higher authority infrastructure type support that I mentioned, like Tech Pub Library, tool control, supply support, and on and on. Maintenance control set up, 3M system set up to operate out of the maintenance office. We didn't have any of that. So I had to create that type infrastructure at my own level for the division. People weren't accustomed to doing that. And so that meant change, and it meant a lot of change pretty fast. And people resent that. They resist change. It's human nature. So I had a great deal of resistance to change going on. But I'll tell you some of that infrastructure stuff in a follow-on video to this one. Y'all carry on.